Good morning, Franz. How's everybody doing today? Mutual's an early arrival, followed by Cora, who was first. Ross Ryder's third. Mr. Brightside fourth. Hi, how you doing? It's been a while since I see your name in chat. Fantasy fifth. How's everybody doing today? I hope we're feeling good. Good enough, I guess. I know Cora is as incensed as I am. So as I understand it, he's working on some stuff. What's on this layer? Wait. Okay. This layer's the glasses. Okay. Just gonna toss that there. Name the layers. I'm just gonna hop right into painting because I would like to finish this and maybe move on to something else like Necromancer's Commission once we figure out final stuff for it. Mainly me, I gotta figure out what I want to charge for that. Cora's writing poetry. Mujus is in a weird mood today. Try napping and see if relaxing during stream. You okay, Mujus? You know you can talk to me anytime. I think she's the governor of Minnesota, Ilhan Omar. She was attacked yesterday during a press conference and sprayed with a substance we still don't know what it was. I haven't checked the news yet quite this morning on that. Your days are completely backwards. All right. Well, whenever you're ready, you can chat with me. It's fine. You know, you can message me anytime. Hey, Necromancer, how you doing? Good morning. Let's pull a little bit of this color here. No, he's a criminal. That's all he is. He's a murderer. Just call him what he is. Like Jonathan Ross. We will find out who that guy was because it'll be in the records somewhere where he was deployed on what day. And when the regime changes to hopefully something better, we will find out who he was. And he will go to jail. He does not have immunity. He does not pass go or collect $200. Everybody is keeping as many records as they can. The more people that are brave enough to go out and film, the more information we will have against these people. There will be no deals, no plea deals. They will get jail for the rest of their lives for murder. and it's plain and simple. There is another guy, a new little bit of news that came out yesterday, of a nice guy who said, if you raise your voice, I will erase your voice, to someone, straight up. And I'm like, that's uttering death threats. Given the present circumstances, you know exactly what he meant by that, what he was communicating. That was uttering death threats. And if he had done that to me, I would have called the police and said, this man threatened to murder me. And I take it as a serious threat, and I would like to press charges. Because in Canada, uttering death threats is an indictable offense, and therefore it falls... I was just joking, yeah, it doesn't apply where the law is involved. In Canada, it falls under citizens' powers of arrest, so I don't know how it works in the state of Minnesota, but in Ontario and anywhere else in Canada, the citizens could have arrested him for uttering death threats because it falls under the citizens' powers of arrest. An indictable offense. So anyone he or she finds committing an indictable offense may arrest without warrant. Blah, blah, blah. Continuing subsections for citizens' powers of arrest. I did have to memorize it verbatim back in 2005 to 2007, so I've probably got it a little bit wrong at this point, but to be fair, it's been almost 20 years. Fantasy's got a cat in her lap. And that whole thing about people not even being able to type the word Epstein on TikTok, like, that's insane. That's just straight up censorship from the government. Like, how is any of this allowed to even happen? The Democrats are doing nothing. And it's just like, what the fuck, America? What the fuck? I can't even. It's just wild that any of this is happening. The people need to demand a re-election. I don't care whether it's available in the rules or not. You need to make it available. This is why Westminster democracies work so well, which is a parliamentary democracy like the rest of the democracies in the world follow. Because we can demand a re-election of our leaders. And the U.S. is going to have to seriously consider, after all of this is over, switching over to the same system as the rest of us, because the democracy that you guys use is not working. It's seriously broken. Yeah, that's why you vote for the independents. Like, they turned around and voted for the Republicans when they didn't want to vote for the Democrats to quote-unquote punish them, and then they caused this problem when they could have voted for an independent, or could have, run for office in their area, and they didn't. They just straight up didn't, and it's like, you've caused the problem, man. This is why, like, when I see people who are really mad about things going on in the government, and they're like, we have no powers. Like, well, you could run yourself. You could do it yourself. Why aren't you out there campaigning for yourself? If you think you can do a better job, go do it, please. I don't have the money or the resources or the charisma to run for any form of office. I have no experience, and like, I'm interested in advocacy, but that's about it. I have very specific areas of interest, and I know that I would be outdone by government lobbies and stuff, because we still have a bit of that problem here in Canada. Thank you for the hydrate, Conk. And Nev hasn't shown up yet, but we're going to take our maracas. Everybody make sure you take your medicine if you haven't. Ross, you're making up scenarios. The making up scenarios really doesn't do much either for the conversation. I've seen a lot of people who voted for Donald Trump coming out saying, I had no idea he was going to be like this. Like, we just thought it was hyperbole, what you guys were saying. They didn't realize that the building was on fire when we told them it was on fire. They thought it was hyperbole. They just thought they were in a real good party. Cora sent me a DM. Would you like me to read this, Cora? Yeah, that's why I said, you know, making up scenarios and conversations like that doesn't help. I used to do that. I stopped doing that um, so that my brain doesn't just look at someone who's MAGA and goes, "You are irredeemable and you should just end," because that's where I was getting to, and that's why I decided to do art instead, as my way of saying what happened was unacceptable, what's happening is unacceptable, and I think we need more people to do that. Yeah, what Muju said, it's like those people that voted for breakfast? Brexit. Many tried to backpedal on it, but you can't. What's done is done. They don't realize what exactly they're voting for until they get exactly what they voted for. And that's true, because people just, they don't want to see the bad things in, they don't want to accept that they've made a bad decision and that they're backing the bad guys. So they dig their heads further into the sand, or deeper into their own buttholes, because they don't want to admit that they were wrong, because that means they're the bad person and that they're the racist, that they get so angry that you call them that. You call someone a racist because they're being racist, and they get angry because they're like, I'm not a bad person. I couldn't possibly be a bad person. And they just lose their minds over it. Moral of the story, think, dang it. Yeah. They also don't realize what the vote actually meant. And then there's the people who are like, well, my vote doesn't matter, so I'm just gonna, like, toss it aside, or I'm gonna invalidate my ballot. You know, people do that too, and it's like, well, you're part of the problem. It's already as if you voted for the bad guys. It's like, if you've got to choose the lesser of two evils, choose the lesser of two evils, for goodness sake. At least those people, you can still possibly change their mind with a good letter to your representative. And maybe not just a good letter, but maybe thousands of letters. Just write letters every day. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna read Cora's poem. So I won't be looking at the OBS screen for a bit. So, here we go. A poem for Alex. Some heroes never die. While others hid from the flu, you learned how to help me, and you learned how to help me and you. When others fell to dread and tear, you stood tall against the evil here. Some heroes never die. While villains wear black and blue, you stood by what you knew. When wolves stalked the sheep without fear, you protected the flock from those who never hear. Some heroes never die. When police fail to do what is due, you did what you could do. When they came to take what we find dear, you stood up to their hate and jeer. Some heroes never die. While villains started to wear capes, you worked to undermine their trapeze. When wolves wear sheep's clothes, you took the better oaths. Some heroes never die. While you might be dead and gone, you will live on in what you let on. When people like you fall away, you prove that you will never sway, that some heroes never die. We remember January 24th, 2026. May he, Alex Jeffrey Peretti, rest in peace. I apologize for botching that a little bit. I don't often read aloud. But thank you for your poetry, Cora. It is. It was very good. I'm not much of a poetry person, but it was good. It was very meaningful, and that's the important part. So maybe I'll try to take a little bit of extra time to re-record that with like better sound, and then I'll put it out there if you're okay with that. Maybe not fuck it up this time. On a podcast, someone who refused to vote for several elections said, I'm not voting for the lesser of two evils. Yeah. There are some times when you have to vote for the lesser of two evils. Like when Stephen Harper was running again for Prime Minister. We were just like, we don't want any more of this shit. I voted outside of where I normally do just to keep him out. I didn't do that this time for Carney because I wanted the guy who was living in my area to continue representing my area. And because too many people did the vote split, they're like, oh, well, we gotta vote for the Liberals because the Conservatives are gonna win if we don't. And if those people had just voted for our Green Party dude, he would have stayed in office and things would have been better in Kitchener. But instead, they vote split, and guess who won? The Conservative. And she didn't even have a contact page on her website. It's not just the two murders, Mewjuice. There was a guy who was he was strangled to death in an ICE facility. It's not just the two murders. Those are the two murders that happened outside of the facilities. But you know what? It's come to the point where the people aren't even afraid of them anymore. And that's what you need. Once your people are no longer afraid of your secret police, that's when you're done. I shared the video the other day of, I think I shared it to, maybe I might have put it in news, but it's that one where there's that big, like, military vehicle in the streets and people just went and stood in front of it. Yeah, the two shootings, yeah. Uh, because they're criminals and the whole point is cruelty. That's why they're not mandated to have rubber bullets. And I shared Parkrose's video just before I started stream. But basically, what these are the glorified fruit gatekeepers of America. Their job is immigrations and customs. They're not even law enforcement. ICE is just the scary three-letter name for them that makes them sound like the FBI, like they're some sort of untouchable, actual law enforcement, but they are not. They are a civil enforcement agency. They are literally the glorified fruit gatekeepers of America. It just doesn't have a fancy name like ICE. So, yeah, they're nothing more than a bunch of thugs and criminals and uh improperly pardoned J6ers. They're the failed children of America who couldn't get jobs in actual law enforcement, so they had to settle for the racist border patrol. They are nothing more than a bunch of losers. They're just heavily armed losers who get their fifis hurt too easily. And you need to stop being afraid of them. And once you're no longer afraid of them, that's when they become scared. Superiority complex thugs, yes. And, like, I don't like talking politics on my stream. I know my streams are meant to be like a chill place for people to come and relax, but I think it's come to a point where, like, if I feel like if I don't put my foot down and say something, more people are also going to be like, oh well, we just need to back off and just relax and you know, we need to stay, we need to not look at things because it's scary. But that's the thing about life, is you have to look at the parts that are scary. You have to face the darkness head on, because otherwise it's going to swallow you whole. And as Charlie Angus says, keep kicking at the darkness until it bleeds light. And I am all for that. I am not the kind of person who just lays down at the feet of bullies. I can't be, because I did that my whole life. I always turned the other cheek, and it got me nowhere. It only made me depressed and have poor self-esteem, bad memories, trauma. Things have to be said. That's right, Mewjuice. Yeah, but, like, before you were scared, but now you're angry. And now you have to take that anger and sculpt it into something meaningful. And the only thing I can do as a Canadian citizen is support my neighbors down south and say, you guys need to stand up and fight. Now is the time. If there was ever a time to use your Second Amendment right to wield weapons of war against a tyrannical government trying to take over your liberties, now is that time. You have reached the point of no return. Now, I'm not saying kill them, but I'm saying you designate ICE and CBP, the Customs Border Patrol, and you label them as an insurgent organization, because they are, and you arrest them, and you keep them all in holding. This is what the local police and the National Guard are for. The states need to arrest all of ICE. If you are ICE and CBP and you enter that state, you are arrested and charged as an insurgent force. Because the National Guard are beholden to the state that they're stationed in. And their authority outweighs that of the customs fruit police. And that's what I'm going to start calling them. They're not ICE anymore, they're the fruit police. They're the garden gatekeepers. You shall not bring that papaya across the border. Belittle them because they hate it. They are just little Vienna sausages, especially in their pants. State sovereignty is a big thing. Absolutely it is. So if you live in a blue state, write to your representative and suggest to them what I said. You know, and instead of the citizens exercising their Second Amendment, their Second Amendment, and, you know, fighting an insurgent force of evil government coming to take away their rights, the government of the state should already be doing that first. It's when the state fails to protect its people that the people are going to have to rise up. Now, Minnesota's trying to do a good job, but they're struggling. But I think it's a good place for them to start, is bring in the National Guard to arrest all of ICE and CBP. Because at this point, we don't know who the murderer was. So every ICE agent, every fruit police officer, every fruit police brown shirt gardener is sorry, it's kind of funny. Yeah. Every one of those fruit police, they're a suspect, because we don't know who the guy who shot Alex Preddy is. CBP knows. Customs, Immigration and Customs Enforcement knows. They know, but they won't tell the state. So the state's just going to have to arrest everyone and hold them indefinitely. And then they're going to have to investigate each and every one of them very thoroughly and deeply. So deeply. For their crime. It's valid. They won't tell anyone who the murderer was. Well, I guess we got to investigate each and every one of them individually. You got to find out where they are. You've got to get their alibis. Just bog them down in investigations. That guy who uttered the death threats, the "you raise your voice, I erase your voice," arrest him. Charge him with uttering death threats. And given the current climate of what happened, you know exactly what he was referring to. It wasn't just a simple obfuscation of, oh, well, I could have just arrested him. That's what I meant. No, you threatened to kill him. You threatened to kill that guy. So guess what? You are going to be charged with uttering death threats. I don't know what the minimum is in America for that. I know in Canada it's probably about 2 years, maybe 5. It's been a while. I would have to go dig my Canadian criminal code out of the basement and look it up. Maybe I should. That thing's like 1,000 pages. Actually, I think it's more than that. It's probably like 1,500 pages. It's a thick boy, and it's the pocket edition. It's like 4 inches thick. Yeah. And that's not even the Highway Traffic Act. That's a different book. It's been 20 years since I did anything law related. And I still know most of my stuff. But I bet you most of these fruit police can't can't state most of the basic laws, much less probably their own constitution, and even I know what the Second Amendment is. And so if you live in a blue state, actually, even if you don't live in a blue state, write to the representatives of the next nearest blue state to you. It would be, well, I mean, clearly they're not very smart. They're only good at pointing guns at people and being bullies. They peaked in high school, most of these people. Yeah. So, if you can, maybe write to the governor of Minnesota. That's Tim Walz, I think. The guy who is running with Kamala Harris to be VP. And he's kind of waffling on things. I'm a bit disappointed. I was like, if this was the strength you were going to show as VP, I'm kind of glad you weren't VP. In some ways, I'm a little bit glad that America ripped off the Band-Aid and went like full fascism before the Canadian election, because then we would have been stuck with Pierre Poilievre and we would be in the same situation. He probably would have kowtowed to Donald Trump and you know, just bent over and spread his ass cheeks for him. And instead, we elected like one of the world's best bankers, and now we're doing trade deals with China and Europe and India. Our economy is growing stronger. Hopefully, the jobs will start rolling in, because I know Arcane Memories, she needs a job because she had some very disturbing news last night that she's going to be homeless as well. I know now 2 people that have gone homeless. And I could use a job. There's so many people I know that need jobs, and we've been searching for jobs for so long, but we can't find any jobs. And then Amazon, they're laying off another 16,000 people today. Another 16,000 people without jobs now in the market. Being replaced by AI, of all things. And it's like, what are you going to do when none of these people have any money? How's your business going to operate? They don't understand. We've got these billionaires, and they're going to have all this money, but soon that money's going to be utterly defunct. It's going to be meaningless. It's like, yeah, you have $1 trillion, but when a loaf of bread costs 100,000, that trillion doesn't go very far, man. Yeah, like, as a Canadian, I'm looking at this and I'm like, thank God, you know, because something needed to happen, right? But this is not the way that I wanted it to happen. I wanted America to get its head out of its ass before this kind of shit happened. To turn around and go, no, we're not going to tolerate hate any longer. We're going to put it down and be done with it. Before, you know, children's drawings from 5-year-olds come out showing them in a cage. Because that's also what I saw in the news. And if you guys just want the highlights of just the bullshit that's happening, and you don't want to watch the news, you'll get that from me. I will give only the important parts. I hate watching Midas Touch Network because they always show the videos of the absolute worst things that really make my blood boil. Like, they are making the Geneva Convention inventor rise within me. And I can tell you, the people of Minneapolis are way more patient than I would be. They understand the assignment. It's to fight back without actually fighting. Because if I were there, there would probably, and I'm not gonna lie, be a trail of dead ice bodies across the city by now. You just wait for them, and you get them when they're alone. Because that's when they're weakest. That's why there's like 15 of them going after like one little old lady in a parking lot, you know, or a teenage boy in a parking lot. They're arresting children. Kids under 18. And there's nothing anybody can do to stop them. Well, there's plenty we can do to stop them. You just simply stop them. So, but what Donald Trump wants is for the people to fight back, right? He wants them to fight back so he can call the Insurrection Act because he believes it's going to give him all of these powers to, like, really militarily take over the state. But what the Insurrection Act does is it only calls in the military to act as law enforcement. So they would have the same powers as the police, but they would have to operate as police in conjunction with the police. The problem is they don't have the same kind of training as police do. So it can cause problems because they lack the same kind of, you know, enforcement training. So they could act out poorly and hurt people. And Donald Trump is hoping for that. The point is the cruelty with him. And he's probably the worst human being since Hitler, to be honest. I might know that video recapping the events of The Last of Us Part 2 and how one guy out for revenge. Well, we don't see most of his actions, we only see the aftermath. Yeah. And, honestly, it's not the way to go about things, which is why I pivoted to doing artwork, because otherwise I will lose my mind. People have to talk about it. We absolutely have to talk about it. And because I can't act, I have to find a different way to outlet how I'm feeling. And so instead of doing something that's going to hurt more families, because let's face it, these ICE guys, they have families, they probably have kids and wives, brothers, sisters, uncles. It's just going to cause more pain if you go out and hunt them down and hurt them. And I don't want to be responsible for that. Vietnam television.
Vietnam television spoke just stop.
Welcome to the islands. Thank you so much for the raid. We're painting a portrait of Alex Preddy and talking about the hard stuff today. Normally we're chill vibes only, but sometimes a demon's gotta fight. So we're in fighting mode. And I was just saying that, you know, as much as I'm angry enough to go hunt down ICE people and annihilate them, it's not the right thing to do. It's absolutely the wrong thing to do because they also have families, and hate just breeds hate. And I don't want to be the kind of person who pushes that anymore. I want to be the kind of person who pushes solutions. So I'm going to change my ways as best as I can to not cause more problems for my American neighbors. I just fucked that up. Just paint over it, saying. But welcome to the channel. We are an island themed group. Usually lots of like ocean and seagull sounds. We're very chill. We paint stuff. Very rarely we play some games. Please tell us how you found us, or why you chose this place to land your boat. Were you just sailing for new adventure? Or is it today's subject that brought you here? Recently we've been painting characters from our upcoming book. This is awful. Just don't look at Sonya. Just don't look at Sonya. Here's our other witch hunters. Plus her. I tried to draw a full body. It wasn't working. Reminds you of a Metal Gear character in a good way. Ah! That yawn just needed to come out. It's just like, no, I'm coming now. Just deal with it. Like, even though it isn't the same, the guy reminds me of Hal Emmerich from Metal Gear franchise. What guy? Sonya? The girl? The woman, I should say. Sonya, okay. It's okay, she's very tomboyish, so she doesn't mind. If there's one character that's close to who I am, it's her. She's the closest thing to a self-insert. Which was, ironically, completely by accident. A woman! Yep. My hunter team is pretty evenly male-female balanced. How could this be? How could women exist? Yeah. I'll tell you, there's some people in the deeper parts of the organization, the Eden Society, who are like, women shouldn't be hunters. And some of the older places in Europe are like, oh no, we won't take women at all. Some of the Middle Eastern ones, absolutely not. They'll barely even accept them as cleaning staff. If there's a bad guy organization in my book, it's the witch hunters, which are sort of the main characters. But they're like the black sheep of the witch hunter company. Okay, this is just, all the shadows on this hand are all wrong, so it's driving me crazy. I guess we're moving into painting this. wonder what it says about me, how whenever I see in fiction a misogynist get punished, it makes me smile because you're probably, you know, a good person. A reasonable fucking human being. Equality. It's important. It helps propel societies forward. When people are treated equally, good things happen to societies. Wow. Who would have thought? Eventually we'll get these light and shadow correct. This has to go more like this. More of a peachy color. I think this is where I'm going to have to start actually manipulating via the color wheel. Which is strange, because you'd think pulling directly from the picture would be most accurate, but like, for some reason his shirt is more saturated when I pull the colors directly from him than if I go in and desaturate it a little bit. Same thing with the skin. I think maybe I'm just unlucky in hitting the pixels where like his leg hair is. But that's when it starts to get muddy and desaturated, so I have to modify things to really make it work. I have to be more careful about my blending now, because we're getting down to the finer stuff. But I really do need to work on this spot of the painting. I've been putting it off. Some of the most compelling stories are the main character was unknowingly a bad guy. Yeah, absolutely. Also, again, a recap video regarding misogynist character in anime. Someone was like, I've been waiting for him to get his ass kicked since episode 1. And I've spoiled 2 pieces of media. The old boy sleeping on your bathroom floor. Seems to like your bathroom. For some reason, cats like to sleep in bathrooms. Maybe it's the tiles? I don't know. Unrelated, you have a brother called Alex? Alex is a good name. My main character's name is Alex. It used to be Kazuki. Just leave that one there. Make this a little bit bigger. Why have you done this? It's all connected. Conspiracy. It's funny because, like, I was writing Eternal Halloween one time, and the main character's name there, his name is Ethan Rose. For some reason, everybody just calls him Eats. Fish don't like ice. I think Havarti's out today. He hates ice that much, he won't even say it. They're the fruit police, remember? We have to call them what they are. The garden gatekeepers, the fruit police. Sorry if I fall into concentration here. Oh no, Vaiska Havarti! He's frozen in ice. He just probably ate too many fruit police and is off napping somewhere. He's part piranha, you know. Everybody on Shrimptine spines. Give yourself a little wave back and forth. Stretch out those side muscles because we always seem to neglect those a little bit. Just a little wiggle back and forth like seaweed in the ocean currents. Just wiggle, 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 wiggle. Seems we've drifted away from the heavy topic. This is good. I think we covered it pretty much. It's like beating a dead horse, you know? Don't want to overdo it. Too much seriousness. Need more silly. I feel like I've done basically nothing on this painting, but then I look at the forest floor and I'm like, yes, there's still a fair amount done there. Let's see if we can find a brush that's going to help us with the texture, though. This one might, the dry gouache. This one, perhaps? Ah, there we go. This one might help a bit more. We're gonna lay down some dark first. Because we need to get the texture in there. That's gonna be the hardest part, to be honest. As much as I love my round mixing brush, sometimes I need to use something else. Use the right tool for the job, right? Start with a messy base, and then we'll start cleaning it up a little bit. Shrimp! So heavy things, notwithstanding, how's everyone? It's gonna bring up something else, but maybe another time. Most people to minor because everything else. Me and Betty. Which is heavier, a kilogram of steel or a kilogram of feathers? Back to a heavy topic. It's like a plane crashes on the border of Canada and the US. Where do you bury the survivors? In fantasies, Boop must snoot. It is the Boop snoot. Like the Derp snoot. But a lot less sad. It is a snoot that gets Boop. The Boop snoot. I have no idea why I started doing that, but I do it. You'll never know. Every time I click back to the painting, I'm like, different spot. I'm like, oh, you were working on the dirt before? Too bad. You now get to work on the shorts. Or the shots. If you're from New York State, Massachusetts. Gotta bring your shots, am I right? Mujuice. Did you get your shots? Gotta bring your shots. Don't forget your shots. NVIDIA app. Game driver. Later. Don't interrupt a painting. Evil company. That's the last of my Kofifi. I want to imagine how big a kilogram of feathers would be. Not vacuum sealed for extra poof. The sneezing begins already. Not the feathers make me sneeze. There was a time we thought I was allergic to feathers, but it was just because it was dust. It was very dusty. I want this nice dark right here. Some shadowy right through here. We'll redraw the strap for that thing in a bit. Go for a little bit desaturated right in here. I know it doesn't look like anything changed, but a little bit did. Blend. Or you've gone quiet. Working on that one spot in the hand. You know, Lark, okay, go do some art or something. Enjoy a nap in the shade. The crypt is totally safe fantasy. It's probably the safest place in the nation. I kind of wish that that other guy had stuck around for a little bit. I was wondering what he was doing. Why he chose to raid us. Curious. They left. To quote Jurassic Park, he left us! I don't have anything left to drink. Hold on. I'll go downstairs and get something. I could use a streech. Necromancer, did you take your medicines? I'm gonna run downstairs and grab something to drink and leave my mug on the counter for tea time. Also, it's Mama Meow's birthday today. So if you go to the general thread and I'll wish her a happy birthday, I can take a screenshot of it and send it to her on Discord. So that's how you say it, is Mama Meow. And yeah, so if you all wish my mama a happy birthday, I will send her the birthday wishes, and I think it'll make her very happy. She's 76 today. We went to go have Indian last night for dinner, and it was really good. I hadn't been there before. My family knows it well, but I hadn't ever been there. It was so much food. Oh my god. Anyways, I'm gonna go take a quick stretch and take my mug downstairs so that my dad doesn't have to come all the way up and get it. But yes, go to General and wish Mama Meow a happy birthday, and I will send her the messages in a screenshot. BRB. I'm back. My dad was making fun of my coffee mug because it's basically a cauldron. And he was surprised that I was bringing it down. I was like, I need to get a drink. People are hydrating me. So I've got a 7-Up Zero. Gotta get the shoe in here now. Hiking boot thing. Let's grab this color. Oh, the fingers are too long. That's what's bothering me. All that painting. It's okay, I might be able to actually... This is probably why I couldn't get the hand right. Because the fingers are too long. Liquify tool save me. Save me from my terrible skills. Ah, yes, I'm such a talented artist. Yeah, maybe that's why I haven't been able to actually get around to getting it right. Because it was wrong to begin with. It's like, no matter how much I paint these hands, they just don't look right. Well, that's why, say, because you're an idiot. That's better. Making adjustments. There we go. Hello, welcome back. Hamburger. Girder. Hamger. Do you have a hamger? This thumb needs to come down a bit more. There's a bit of space here. I'm gonna get this light color in here, the edge of the shoe where the light's hitting it back here. Shoe highlight. How you doing today, Halo? You having a good day? Rough night, but you're warm? Well, as long as you're warm. I haven't seen Neff today. If you have any meds, don't forget to take them. Okay, we've got a bit of a leggy here. And that's what this is. It's a dark patch. It's all leggy. Enveloped in shadow. Got a bit of light coming in. My dad in the background. Out of the way, Pelican. It's a saying in our household. Yeah, Havarti's been out for a little while. Oh! Halo is streaking! Your first streak! A 3-stream streak. Welcome to the Streakers Club. We have meetings every day. Neff, I summon thee to answer the question as to whether or not you've taken your meds and had your noms. Baby's first streaking. Yep. The painting is coming along really well. I zoomed out too far, zoomed in too close. Here we go. You missed all the heavy talk. We were talking about the tough subjects today. Just, you know, people need to stand up and fight. We need to stop hiding our heads in the sands because we're just scared or overwhelmed. It's okay to be overwhelmed. It's okay to break down and cry and be upset. It's okay. Be upset. But fight back. Now there's something really weird going on here with the shadow between the thumb and the finger. Right here. Lots of dark. We're just going to take that color directly. Maybe it's just the shadow on that fingertip. I don't know. This is a good color to use here too. I have to do lots of blending right here. It's very dark and everything's very hidden. Might have to manipulate my brush settings a little bit. Just give it a little flipsy. Hands are such a pain in the ass to paint. And draw. Ah. There's a crease right here. Enough! Hydrate and the streets. Everybody streets. And take your meds if you haven't already. Our daily med reminder from the wonderful Nefficus. And if you don't, it's going to come to your house and bite you. Also part piranha, just like Havarti. How you doing today, Neff? don't know yet. Did you take your meds already? You're kind of late this morning. Did you sleep in? Less sleep in and more like go to bed at 3 a.m. Yeah, I went to bed at midnight. It's kind of early for me. Or, actually, I think I went to bed earlier than midnight. Death Stand, good morning. Time zone approved greetings to you, Norwegian man. How are you today? It's a wee bit better. We flip again. You tried to draw Medic's head? That's good. Practice, practice, practice! I think I was asked something after you said you went to bed around midnight. You weren't listening. I don't remember. One of those days, I don't remember. Somebody else might remember, but I don't. Let's see what. Blending is hard. I'll get to that hydrate in just a moment. All that work I did, I ruined it. Ruined! Because it was all in the wrong spot. Part of what's throwing me off is all of this in the wrong spot too. Think about the harder girl. Just trying to get this light and shadow right in here, and I am failing horribly. Very subtle differences in colors. Sometimes I get the shadow just right, and other times it's just a complete and utter failure. Oh, here comes the tea. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You got to hear Papa meow on stream for once. Alright, that's starting to look better. Yay, we're finally getting somewhere with the shadows and the sleeves. There's a light shadow line in here. Oh, my eyeballs are getting all scurry. So let's take a break for our eyeballs. Cora's giving us a hydrate. And Neff was boop my snoot. It is a drip snoot, like the boop snoot. But it is the snoot that gets boop, the boop snoot. How not to lie, give me the power, for I do not want it. And Cora has hydrated us again. Num 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 num. Okay, the hand looks so much better now. We just need to finish the other hand. We've got the shoe in the background going in. We've got texture for the forest floor finally. The sleeves are coming along. They're getting a little bit more detailed. Cora better be hydrating as much as we are. Who knows? We read Cora's poem today. I think we're doing pretty well today. My tailbone is hurting from sitting too much. How to lie? I love democracy. I love the republic. I will lay down this power when crisis has been averted. Tea. Yeah, I think we've got that hand right finally. That one that's resting on the knee. The one that's hanging off the other knee is still needs a bit of work. The sleeves are going to be a pain in the butt. At least that one really wrinkled sleeve. The very wrinkled parts are the hardest. Palpatine quotes Gober. Yep. Look at arting in the Discord. Yeah, it's a pretty good start. It's got kind of like a bit of a scarecrow mask from Batman going on there. Yeah, taking the seat back and just looking at the OBS screen for a little while really helps to see where there's some problems, but normally they jump out at me when I switch back to OBS, but they're starting to fade. The face still needs a little bit more definition, of course. It's far from done. The face is the most important part. But the sleeves are getting better. We need to add another crease into the forearm. I need to make some color adjustments for sure. DMs is funny. Cora sends me DM. Here we go. Except you don't need Palpatine, you need Trump. Still can't decide if I make a broken hood or a full hood. I don't know, broken hood seems kind of inconvenient. I would recommend getting some references of the kind of clothes that Medic wears. And working from that. Let's look at our thirst trap for a while as a little bit of a palate cleanser here. Palpatine is the key to the meme. Yes, you need Trump saying "I love democracy." I feel like it's a bit much comparing Joe to Palpatine. Trump, not Joe. So comparing Trump to Palpatine. Trump isn't smart enough to be Palpatine. That's the thing. Palpatine was actually intelligent. He did say, "I love the uneducated," though, Trump. Can we charge someone else's batteries? How about this? Will this recharge your batteries? Look at that nugget! He doesn't care about politics, he's a cat. He only cares about whether he gets tuna. Look at that face, though. Big round eyes, the little sexy witchy bitch. The little, like, 3 face. He's got it. He's got the colon 3 face. Gives Kitty the scritches. Neff might actually get to meet Tesla one day. Then you can pet him all you like. Yep, the colon 3 looking cat. He's got that face. Here's my sweet bean. I'm gonna save the file because I haven't done that for a little while. But yeah, I started doing like a full body of Sonya, and it just, ugh, I can't. She's always been so hard to draw. Like, she's a doctor, and the hunters all basically wear the same thing, but I try to give them, like, little differences in what they wear. Like, Marcus is always wearing something kind of form-fitted. They all have this, like, military-style sweater turtleneck thing that they wear. So, where's my references? Extras? Nope, not that one. Refs. So they've all got shirts like this that they wear. So they do have a sort of uniform going on. Sort of. And, like, they'll have... they'll have, like, the Eden Society patch on the shoulder. At most. And that's about it. It'll be on both shoulders, generally. There might be, like, a pin here. And that's about the extent of their uniform. Other than that, they just wear whatever they want. Anna has sort of like a pseudo dress uniform that she wears when she goes to do diplomatic things. Official stuff. But even crotchety old Alfred still wears, like, the black shirt. Eric is, like, head to toe black clothes. We'll take Sonya's headshot out. Put away the others. Regarding tactical turtlenecks from Archer, I didn't invent the turtleneck, Lena. I was first to recognize this potential as a tactical garment. Tactical turtleneck, Lena. The tactile net. The tactile necked. Let's see. So Marcus, let's grab him. Copy, paste. We'll merge. Actually, not even copy. Cut. Then we'll merge. Stop necking people tactically. Whoa. A tactical necking. Hey, look. These ribbed turtlenecks, they're really good. Okay? Marcus, on the other hand, like, he tends to not wear the same things. So he'll often have, like, a V-neck t-shirt. Because he's got kind of like... Oh, God. He's got a really nice light frame. He likes to show off. So Marcus tends to wear like very form-fitted. You know, you'll probably see his abs sticking out. His nice little chesticles. You might even see a little bit of that with him. We'll just quickly, but it'll still be black or like navy blue, like almost completely black. Codename Ghost implies a few things. Eric is dead. There are lots of reasons why he's called Ghost. Just like Marcus. He's the branch sniper. A little sniper rifle here. Clearly I have no idea what a sniper rifle looks like. Big gun. Very big gun. Big gun. There's a vague imagery of a sniper rifle. But yeah, so Marcus will wear very, very skinny clothes. He wears tighter pants, whereas Sonya wears more loose things. Hold on. I've got so many messy layers happening here. Let's just make a folder for headshots. We'll turn those off. We'll bring them down to about the same head size. Lurk check. I'm not dead. Just laying in writer's block. Grab a prompt. Write something real short and fast. That's how you overcome the writer's block. Short and fast. Whether it's good or not doesn't matter. Do remember leave next to no trace of that being outside of the required objective, and even then. Oh, BRB family's calling. Oh. Because the Shadow Strider believes he could cut the throat of his enemy and have them drown in their own blood. Very dark. Indeed, very dark. Thank you for the hydrate. Let's see. Let's, next headshot. Uh... Oh. Hello? Why did my keyboard just stop working? Okay. Duplicate that. Bring that up here. Turn that off. You want to get the heads roughly the same size if you're going to do like a character lineup. Grab these three. Bring them over. Leon. Every time Marcus gets a kill, Marcus. Headshot, Eric. That's a body shot. Second shot is hurt, Marcus. Headshot! He is a bit playful like that. He probably would. The closest character I can think of for inspiration for Marcus would be 5 Flowrite from Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle, if I had to choose an anime character. Otherwise, just, he's Marcus. Now, Leon is more of your, like, tech nerd. He doesn't dress like a nerd. Again, probably the same kind of t-shirt like Marcus, but it's probably a crew neck. He probably goes for the crew neck t-shirt. He's not as skinny as Marcus. Well, it's hard to say. He's gangly, but he's not skinny. It's gangly is the word I would use for Leon. Marcus is lithe. Leon Leon is gangly. He's like the guy who never really grew out of his teenage phase. Like he doesn't. He's not like Marcus, where like Marcus will go and lift weights, but only enough to keep his body nice and lithe. Leon is like, yeah, I exercise only because I have to, because otherwise a witch will probably kill me. And, like, he's more likely to wear, Let's see. Probably do the thing with the t-shirt underneath, over top of, another shirt. So you only see a little bit of peek of the collar. But he's more likely to do that. And have, like a long sleeve shirt on. God, these body forms are awful. That's what I get for not planning out poses. Give him like a little clipboard thing. If they played Phasmophobia, he would totally be the van guy. He is definitely your van guy. Imagine Eric just in a corner. Leon! Especially with an exposed neck. If he isn't careful, he could get tactically necked. I should also draw them in their civilian clothes. So one thing about Sonia is she really likes color. So, like, when she's just, like, in the office, like, in the med office, she's just, like, you know, barefoot or in socks if it's cold, and a pair of green Crocs, like, lime green Crocs. Yeah. Marcus, on the other hand, like, he's a flaming homosexual. The church really hates him. But they're like, he's a good sniper, so we'll let it pass for now. It's the only reason he's allowed to stick around in the Eden Society. They're like, you know what, he's not with the other branches, and Eric just seems to tolerate him. We'll just let him be. As long as he continues to do his job, we're good. And Sonia and Marcus have like this almost sibling, like, I wouldn't say rivalry going on, but they have a sort of sibling dynamic where Marcus will make fun of her because she likes sweet things. So she's like, "Oh, you know, I've already eaten. I don't want to eat anything." And he's like, "But I'm making pancakes." She's like, "Fine," and he's like, "You'll get fat." And she punches him. Yep. Let's see. Eric, that's how he dresses. Just black, up and down. There's an orange line here that I want to get rid of. Where's this heinous orange line? Okay, we're just gonna delete that layer forever. Back when I couldn't draw hands to save my life. Anna, on the other hand, we'll just turn that one off. Not that one. All of it. Headshots go back in here. Okay, so we have these two layers. Duplicate this, bring it out. Headshots. New folder. Got a system going here. And then shrink it down. I think I've got their heights a little bit wrong. Sonya's the shortest. I'll put, Eric Swallow. Yeah, no, I stopped working on Alex, so we'll change the title. Yeah, I just need to take a break from Alex's painting for like a day or so. Anna is taller than Sonya. So she's probably closer to Leon's height. Sonya still, too. She's the shrimp of the group. Her head was already too big in comparison to the others. Now, in terms of hunting gear, Anna is very much along the lines of follow the uniform. So you will always see her in her uniform. She's a good, proper English woman. Sega, are there hunters that use witches to hunt other witches? If they don't know about it, hunters will always kill witches. That's sort of the thing. If you're a witch, you are evil and a danger to society, and you will die by a hunter's hands if they know about you. Oop. Where's the shape that I'm trying to get here? In comparison to Sonya, Anna is very slender. Sonya's literally described as stocky. So she's clearly an endomorph. And Anna's ectomorph in terms of body type. But both of these women can and will kick your ass. No blood-sniffing witches? I mean, Highwire will kill anyone. And she will manipulate hunters to kill other witches. Absolutely, she will. And there are witches within the witch government who will use the existence of hunters to take out their political enemies. No. No. They wouldn't do that. But there are the hunter organizations, they don't care whether you're a man, woman, or child, elderly, they will kill you. When you think about it, they're very reminiscent of how ICE is in the United States right now, where they don't care whether you're young, old, man, woman, child, and clearly they don't care whether you're white or brown at this point. In some ways, Witching Hour or the Witch Hunter Society has become very reflective of what's happening in America. And even in the story, America is the country that was hit the hardest by the zeal of the panic. Something I learned yesterday, actually, that was very disturbing to me, is that the Nazis actually sent lawyers over to the United States to learn about, I think it's the Jim Crow laws that allow them to create the concentration camps for the Native American peoples. And so they sent lawyers over to the US to learn how to legally create these concentration camps. So in some ways, the Nazis learned how to kill all the Jews from the Americans, which is really, really disturbing. So when you look at it, the United States had everything in place already for what they're doing now, and what they did to the Japanese and what they did to the Native Americans. It's kind of horrifying. And when you look at the Witch Hunter Society, the history of it is very much aligned with what would have happened if we had gone on a global scale of hunting down certain peoples and annihilating them. But they had a way of hiding amongst the general population. What does it come down to? And so you look at the history of the French Revolution, you know, how there were points where it was basically a free-for-all of killing, and when it was the government in control, it was like one lady was brought before them because she was accused of being a spy or something, but they're like, oh, we brought the wrong woman? Oh, you're the wrong lady. Well, we've got time, so you can be executed anyways. And that is a legitimate thing that happened. Yeah, say we take off and nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. Yeah, just pull a line from aliens. Yeah, I have American friends too. I have American family. Except my American family that's in the States are very Bible Belt. Like, they are very Christian. To the point where I won't interact with these family members ever because they're that Christian. they probably voted for Trump. I'm not gonna lie. I would not be surprised in the least. They probably believe him to be the coming of Christ. So, yeah, history. If we do not know history, we are doomed to repeat it. So that's a little bit of history trivia for you, that the Nazis learned how to use the law to their advantage to create concentration camps in order to kill the Jews. Reasonable sacrifice for a free world? Yeah. But then you get the French Revolution of where do you stop? You have to have an absolutely hard line and you never cross it. That's why I say the oligarchs. Anyone who's worth over $1 billion and is not willing to pay the taxes, you give them a chance, and if they don't, you just take it, and you ban them from ever holding office, interacting with politics. As a matter of fact, you just put them in jail for life. It's the easy way to deal with them. Yeah. Those who do not know their history are doomed to repeat it. This is why education is so important. But also, the bad guys know that this is why education is so important. And that's why Donald Trump loves the uneducated. Deport them to the ocean. Cora, I keep saying you're not allowed to throw trash in the ocean. There's enough there already. You're not supposed to throw garbage into the ocean. We need that. Just exile them from the planet. Elon Musk and all of his friends can get in one of his starships and go fly to Mars, and they can stay there for as long as they're able to. And they're never allowed to come back to Earth. The ocean or the rubbish? What do you mean? You're not supposed to throw trash in the ocean. We need to clean up the ocean. We need it. It's very important. You need the AMOC to function, otherwise Europe gets very, very cold. Be in jail the rest of their lives or be exiled. Yeah. I need to up the tolerance a little bit. Hey. She's supposed to be wearing a doctor's coat. It's not supposed to be so dark. I don't know why I gave her khaki pants. Get the fuck out of the solar system? Yeah, like GTFO the Sol. We need to make a reservation that billionaires need to survive a year before they are allowed back into society with no access to any of the resources from the outside world. look, there are some of the billionaires are good, like Bill Gates. He's okay. The only reason he's not the richest human in history is because he chooses not to be, and he keeps donating all of his money. I'm pretty sure I copied that picture. Current objective, survive. What you do is you just take all of their money until they have $1 million. That's all they need. And you distribute it amongst society. And you put in place laws that billionaires cannot earn more, or that anybody, not just billionaires, nobody can earn more than $100 million. Everything is 100% taxed after $100 million. You don't need it. Yeah, Elon Musk wants to be the first trillionaire. What was my avatar doing there? Weird. He thinks he's Tony Stark. He just lacks, the moral compass. He's not even Silver Age Lex Luthor. Yeah, fair enough. No, the reason Elon is not like really close with Trump and the other billionaires is because he's legitimately too stupid. He's too stupid to make enough money. Even though he lacks all of the scruples to make enough money, he's too stupid to do so. And he's too busy tweeting all day. It's at least, the very least, he's too stupid. I used to think he was smart. I used to be a really big fan of Elon Musk. And then I realized just how much of an idiot he was. And then I started to see the bad parts of him too, how horrible of a person he was. And then it's just like, oh, fuck this guy. So that's the thing. So you can still have been a fan of Elon Musk, just like I was a fan of J.K. Rowling. And then the information comes out of how terrible they are, and you can change your opinion. He is a fake nerd gooner. Look, there's nothing wrong with gooning, okay? I'm an incubus. There's nothing wrong with gooning. But, don't be gross about it. Don't be a creep. And don't... Just don't. It's okay to goon. Just don't be, that guy. Don't be that gooner. The ones that everybody hates. Look, people like porn for a reason, okay? It's fun. But when you're, an incel and you've got, God, what was it? One streamer accidentally shared his notepad one day. And, when I saw some vintage Tesla pre-Madness edition on Tesla vehicles. No, it's true. I wanted to own a Tesla. It was, the one car that I would want to drive. And I was legitimately, aiming for my first and only car to be a Tesla. now I'm just like, know what? I'm gonna stick with the family tradition and get like a Volkswagen ID Buzz, the people's car, Volkswagen. So, what was I saying? Yeah, you can have the you can like people before you knew they were bad. There was one streamer who shared his notepad and it turned out to be like he was like a full on like hardcore gooner in his spare time. And like some of the stuff he watched was like, whoa there, buddy, like Jesus Christ. Just no. That is illegal. Literally. Like, he was into some of the younger stuff too, teens and shit, and I'm just like, fuck, I just don't like. What is wrong with adults doing adult things? Just adult. Why do you have to involve children? It's so creepy and gross. Like, ugh. Most new models are getting banned. What, the Teslas or the Volkswagen? I just want the ID Buzz because one, it's a um, it's an electric, and two, it has lots of space. And as a LARPer and someone who likes camping, lots of space is good. However, if Edison were to make like a bus kind of vehicle, kind of like the Buzz, like the old Volkswagen bus, if Edison were to do that, I would be all over that thing. A good sized bus truck van for real people. Oh yeah, I understand this. Tesla should be banned. Well, you just need to make laws where the guys at the top don't get away. If corporations are considered people, then they should be hounded like people, and so should the people who work for those people. They're deemed not road safe? How far the mighty have fallen. Hi, Tesla. Were we talking about you? No, we were talking about the bad Teslas. You're the best Tesla because you're named after the scientist. Yes, you are. Yes. Come here, my nugget. Haha, I have the nugget now. The best Tesla on the planet. Whoop, whoop. You should be voting for your person who best represents your interests, not your team. Yeah, I was really excited for the Cybertruck, like, way back, but, not anymore. I'm hungry today. I had lots of carbs last night, so I'm hungry today, and my weight is up. It sucks. Because all I'm gonna have to do is wait and be hungry for my weight to go back down. Oh, I know good. I've got him lying back in my arms and cradling my kitten. Oh, he's so soft. I always thought it looked like a car that failed to render. That's one of the things I liked about it. But like my family cars have always been like the biggest shit boxes in existence. Like my brother has like parts of his panels, like the little like decorative panel on the side of the doors, like peeling off. He's got a sticker on it that says my other ride is a war rig. It's perfect. But yeah, if Edison Motors were to make like a vehicle that was more like a van than like a truck or a transport truck, I would be all over that thing. Especially if it looked good too. It's my nugget. It's my nugget. Oh, I got kissies. I told my mom I think of every vehicle you've ever drove in your life, hell, I'll include grandmother's cars. And my other grandmother from overseas, whatever they drive/drove, more practical than a Tesla. Look, I'm sure Tesla has its value somewhere, like the older models. Um, Before Elon got too big for his britches, and when they were still using the designs that were being made by actual engineers and not the Muskrat. Like, I'm sure they were good cars, but Elon lied about things. He's an asshole. He's completely insufferable as a human being. Uh, if the company dropped him, I would give them a chance to smarten their asses up. But they won't. But I have to go to Little Demon's room, so I'll be right back. Everybody get up and stretch your legs. I'm back. Sorry about that. Me and Ann went looking at a few Nissan cars due to an MOT. It's an MOT. And we like the interior of the new. Is it Qashqai? Funny thing is, they're hybrids now. Fuel and electric, so perfect for a car transition to net zero. Absolutely. Hybrids are great. We have diesel cars. Both of our cars are diesel. Standard. A European standard even, so you gotta press down and push forward to go into first. Fantasies boop my snoot. It is the boop snoot. Like the droop snoot. But it is a snoot that gets booped. The boop snoot. Thank you for the snoot boop. MOT is required regular servicing of a car to make sure they are road safe. Oh, okay. I guess the only one that's left on the regular layer is Eric. Yep. We duplicate. Off. Somewhere there's a bit of a... Ah! Let's just find out where that is. Oop, there's a bit more. If you fail an MOT, you can't go on the road, and if you haven't got an MOT, you will be fined. Huh. Well, I was reading a posture check from Neff. Everybody on shrimp and spines. Give yourself a little way back and forth. Stretch out those sides. Yeah. Just a little wiggle. Like seaweed in the ocean currents. And some dents and dinos. Dents and dinos. Have to do it. It's the rules, you know. Fusro meow! Cora with his tier 3 sub emote. Thank you for the hydrations. This is like a group photo kind of thing going on here. Eric's still a little bit too... And 6 people just perished from the dragon shoot. Yep. Yeah, he's got that vibe going on. I didn't fix his portrait yet. He's just like, I just want to go to bed, man. Like let me just go to sleep. He does a lot of the night work, so he tends to be awake at odd hours. This is Eric without his coat on. Kind of weird. Just all black. Don't have him quite right yet. Black on black on black. Yep. I'll get shapes out of this eventually. The shirt's in the way. Where's that reference? You know, I need a blocking layer. I gotta go. Okay. See you later. Oh, Cora sent me something in DMs again. I don't know who this character is, Cora. Who is this character? Is he also a flaming homosexual? Man, my mouse is having some serious problems. I'm gonna have to take it apart. There's probably dust in it. Yep, that's, we'll take that folder. Put that below the blocking layer. Okay, these are other references. Put his birthday thing down. Ugh, God, my mouse! Crikey. Sorry, I had to clean up my file a bit. He is the prosecutor from the Apollo Justice Games and is a raging gay if you listen to the fandom. I mean, he's either a raging gay or a womanizer. Wasn't happy with the leg placement. Legs are, for some reason, the hardest part for me to do with any character when I just start with a headshot. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a second layer for Hannah. Of course, can't see anything. You need to head out as well. Mez to pick up. His name is Clavier Gavin. Piano? His name is Piano. I'm assuming Gavin is his first name. Well, it's after the 3-hour mark, so it's about time we actually ended stream. It is my mom's birthday, and I do have to see about getting the ingredients for her cake. So let's go find someone to raid. Evan's not up yet again. Huh. Evan! Are you okay? We miss you. Gavin is certainly interesting. His name is Piano Gavin. Because clavier is piano in German. Well, I guess we can raid Tube. Tube is a good raid. Since Evan's still not on at 12:08. Evan! So, we are off sailing to other waters, my friends. May you wash ashore in distant lands and find new adventures. You all have a fantastic day. I am gonna go find my super chocolate lovers cheesecake recipe and make a shopping list and ask my brother to go out and get the ingredients so that I can make my mom's birthday cake. And I will see you guys tomorrow at the usual time. Last announcement, that was Ella is so sick. Okay. Dunno. Okay, well, we'll find out. I'm sure he'll fill us in at some point. But I'll see you guys next time. I love you, bye-bye!